Hello everyone. I am doing this video not live, but I'm recording it because I want to share it not just with Star Matrix, but also with the Modern Energy Art class. I was just doing my little illustrations for the Star Matrix Unit 11, and there was one particular one, little drawing of a grown-up aspect handing a star to a younger aspect, a little tiny aspect. And just something connected up in my mind, and there was this huge flash and the memory of a star event relating to my illustrations. And we're going back to 1990 now, and an aspect who hadn't had her big revelation about the nature of the invisible something yet. She was acting often on instinct and doing things very differently to other people. And that's always been the case with me, because I must have had an energy awareness somewhere all along the way. And I trusted in my instinct and my emotional responses to situations to let me know what was right and what was wrong and what worked and what didn't work. I just didn't know how I did that in those days. And the aspect had been an animal behavior specialist for a long time at that point, and had also been doing a lot of dog training classes, which is all about teaching owners to communicate with their animals and to get them on the same page, to get them to create a couple bubble, as it were, and to understand each other. And because when they do, raise energy between them as well, because when they get on the same page, then you can get the dog to do almost anything for you. And it's easy and it's fun. And I've been doing this for quite a while in 1990, and came to the point that I wanted to write an instructor's manual called Take the Class. And it started with the words that one night I received a phone call from the chairman of my dog training club, who told me that his wife was ill. Could I please take the beginner's class? And at the time I was 18 and I did not have a clue. And I went to the library to try and find a book how to write, how to take a dog training class. And there wasn't such a book. So I now decide, from my vantage point of many years of experience, to write that book that my young self would have needed and that would have helped her to not create an absolute catastrophe on the night. And so this book was Take the Class, and that contained my experiences and the patterns that I'd worked out and the things that work, and lots of things. And I wanted to, when I was writing this, I wanted to keep it light and humorous, and so I wanted to add some funny illustrations to it. And my energy mind produced many brilliant ideas for funny illustrations. There's one that I will mention. This was of a person who comes in with this battle-scarred, huge, dangerous dog with a muzzle on its face. And the person is a little lady, and she's just holding this dog to her heart, and she's just loving it. And that was for a chapter which said, that please understand that dog owners love their dogs and don't say anything negative about them. Please understand. And the more aggressive and nasty and horrible the dog may be, the more defensive, of course, the owner is going to be. And also in reverse, the more you can melt their stony hearts by saying something nice about their dogs. Nobody ever does when you have a, horrible, big, aggressive, scarred dog with a muzzle on its face. And that's terrible for the owners. So my past aspect felt that she was nowhere near good enough to do the illustrations for this book, Take the Class. And so what she did was she found herself a professional artist who'd had a degree from Cambridge University in all sorts of fine modern art and what have you. And she drew out the concepts for the illustrations and gave them to the person. And I also gave them a big sack full of money to do this. This was not cheap. It cost a lot of money per illustration, and they were about 25. And then eventually this person phoned me up and said they were ready and I could collect them. So off I went to collect them. And they were absolutely horrible. They were just horrible. It broke my heart. The aspect said nothing, just took them and went away, and then went home and got out her original sketches that she'd done for this guy so that he would know what she wanted, and laid them side by side. And as badly drawn as the aspect sketches were, they were simply 100,000 times better than the clever, snooty, technically brilliant renderings of this person who'd studied fine art for all this time. They totally missed the point in such a extreme way. And as the aspect sat looking from one to the other, this beautiful, technical, marvelous, yay, super art, which was actually wrong and shit, to the really badly drawn childlike illustrations the aspect had done, which communicated the essence so perfectly. I had this event. I just had this moment of enlightenment that it's not about technical skills. Never. It's never about technical skills. The technical skills don't matter at all. You might think, after all the entrainment of the heart, that because you haven't got these great crafty skills of straight lines and, perspective and all of this marvelous crap, that stuff, that is the way forward, that's going to do it for your art. It's not. It isn't. It has fuck all to do with it. Fuck all to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with it. The images are a transmission of information, and the information in the guy's drawings was totally and utterly wrong. And therefore, the whole thing was completely useless. Absolutely useless. Totally useless. Total waste of time, total waste of money. So my aspect then went along and took her original sketches and tidied them up as best as she could, and those went in the book. And the book was greatly beloved in its time by the people who bought it, and it was called The Bible of Dog Training Classes, and that was wonderful. But I learned this hugely important thing, and this is why I want to also share this with the MIA people, modern energy art people. Please understand this. Please understand this. It's truly, at the end of the day, all about the energy. It's all about the energy. This metaphor that I'm telling you here of the clever drawings versus the crap childlike drawings, and the crap childlike drawings are actually not just better, they're just blowing the other thing completely out of the water. This metaphor translates into so many other things. It translates into whether you are incredibly pretty or not. Pretty doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all about the energy. If your website is like crap compared to other people's websites who are all technically perfect, it doesn't matter. Technically perfect counts for nothing. If it grabs the person by the heart and it expresses your energy, it can be the crappiest website in the universe and it'll attract the right people to you. I'm really trying to, I wish you to have an experience like my aspect did, where she understood that the quest for Muppet perfection leads you down the wrong path. It leads you away from your heart. It leads you away from your soul. It leads you away from your true self. It leads you away from your own true expression. And it leads everybody else away from actually learning something from you, or learning something through you, or having an exciting experience through you. So whatever it is that you are struggling with, trying to make perfect in some shape or form, before you can do it. Like, I have to have perfect illustrations before I can take the class. So I need to hire somebody who does this for me. Does it perfectly, right? Yeah. Stop. Be yourself. Express yourself. Tell your story. Express your message is what I'm trying to say to you. And never, ever, ever get ever hung up again that what you're doing isn't good enough in some shape or form by some measuring stick that is not actually measuring what's really important about you and what it is that you do. This I wanted to tell you guys this morning. I just could not go on without stopping and making this video. I think this is such an important enlightenment experience. And I hope you've heard it. I hope you understand this. And I hope that when this comes up in your own context, in the next time this happens, you'll remember, perhaps, that my badly drawn picture of the dog with the scars on the muzzle and the lady who was holding it and loving it, badly drawn as it was the right picture. It's the right way to go. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.